Welcome to another Q&A. Today I'm doing emails and a couple from my patrons in the Discord server. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit different today. I'm still getting over like a flu and my head still hurts, but the show must go on. I do this for you guys and my rent. There are people out there who have an uncontrollable odor. Their deodorant and perfume/cologne just stop working after a while, and even though they did shower and make sure they smelled nice, they just start to smell bad after 30 minutes. But the basis of my question is this. I'm planning on getting a fursuit, but I have a really weak washer and dryer, my tub gets clogged really easily, and I have one of those uncontrollable odors. And as I do put on deodorant often, sometimes it passes anyways. Is there a safe way I can go about washing my potential fursuit that won't break the washer or clog up the drain in the tub, but keep the suit fresh? From HitRave. Look, firstly, I feel ya on this one. I'm a very sweaty person, so I can definitely relate here. Having a weak washer is actually perfect. Go ahead and use that because you want to be as gentle as possible when putting your fursuit in a washing machine. The dryer doesn't matter. Please never ever put your fursuit in a dryer. It will permanently damage it. If your drain clogs easily, what you can do is put some kind of liner on the drain before you empty it. So like if you get a bit of cloth and put it over the drain as it empties, all the fur will be caught by the bit of cloth, but the pressure of the water keeps the cloth over the drain. So then you can just like take out all the fur as it clumps. It'll take a while, but it'll be worth it just to make sure that all your pipes are nice and safe and your fursuit smells nice and awesome. As for fursuiting itself, when you're a particularly punching person, as you said, make sure you always shower beforehand. No excuses. Always shower before you suit. Because, you know, you want to keep the stank out of your suit as much as possible, and that begins with keeping the stank off of you. When it comes to deodorant, I highly recommend using like the high-grade clinical protection stuff. I use the Rexona one, or Degree as I think it's called in the United States. Like, I don't know what it is with America and Australia having completely different names for the same deodorant, but I digress. So yeah, this stuff prevents so much sweat wherever you apply it, it's not even funny. I wear this stuff every single day, otherwise I get massive sweaties just from like sitting there. It's stupid and I hate it, but this fixes it. It's expensive, but it really does work, at least for me anyway. So it's a really good idea to put some of that on in your high sweat areas before you fursuit. You'll also definitely want to disinfect your fursuit on the inside quite thoroughly after every single wear, and maybe even a little spritz on the outside if you want. I have left a link in the description on how to make your own fursuit disinfectant. Dear Pocari, hi! First off, I love your videos. They have been an awesome encouragement for me as I am a new fur and I have only been in the fandom for a little more than a year. Second, I have two questions. The first is, how did you get the inspiration for Pocari's name and if it means anything? And the second question is, do you know of any plushie makers that do protogens? I think it'd be so cool to get a plushie of my persona until I can get it as a fursuit. Thanks for reading and keep up the good work, Proxy the Protogen. Firstly, thank you so much for the kind words. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about Pocari's origins. Like, I've talked about them before, but it must have been a while, so let's go over them again. Basically, Pocari is a sodaroo, which is literally a kangaroo that has been inspired by some form of beverage. And the drink that I'm inspired by is a Japanese sports drink called Pocari Sweat. See the resemblance? I chose it because, well, one, I really like the drink, and I love blue and white just as a color scheme in general, so it worked really well. The word Pocari doesn't actually mean anything in Japanese. It's just a word that the drink marketing people made up because it's a fun sounding word and it would help people remember their product, and it did. I wasn't always gonna call Pocari Pocari, like the name Pocari was always a placeholder, but it stuck, so here we are. Hello, I'm Pocari. As for Protogen plushies, I did a little bit of research, and the one I like the most is this one by MocoBuds on Twitter. I think it is absolutely the cutest. I love this style. It also looks like Budsies doesn't do a shabby job on Protogens either. But other than that, I'm sure you can approach any custom plush maker with a Protogen, whether or not they've made one before. They would actually be a lot easier to make than most personas, just because that visor shape is actually pretty simple to plush. It's a lot easier than something with like a snout or a beak, or a bajillion different colors. So be sure to check out my video on custom plush makers if you would like some recommendations. Hi Pocari, my name is Lynx Wolf and I'm a new YouTuber and was thinking about getting a green screen and wanted to ask you what software you use for your green screen. I've kind of looked around but I'm not too sure what I should use. Also, I love your videos and you're one of the YouTubers that inspired me to create my own channel. Thank you for everything you do. Lynx the Wolf. Thank you. I am a full-on Adobe junkie for everything I do on this channel. Editing in Premiere, fancy stuff in After Effects, audio processing in Audition, graphics in Photoshop, the works. Premiere has this incredible color keyer called Ultra Key, and that's what I use to key out my green screen. It works perfectly for any properly set up green screen, which is really the hardest part about green screens. It has to be completely flat, and the light has to be as even as possible. I literally just have mine thumbtacked to the wall, and then 2 softbox lights to light it up all nice and evenly. This is my motion for lights. Look, here you go, now you can key me in flying somewhere. Oh, look at me, I'm a flying roo, totally flying in this real place that I'm flying in right now. Yeah, even then, Ultra Key has so many settings that you can even fix most shortcomings in the setup itself. Here's a tutorial for you up in the card there and in the description. How can you get in touch with people who do commissions / find people who do it if you have no social media accounts like me? I'm a young furry, so my mum and dad decide what accounts I get. Please help me, your friend, Jabari the African Wolf Dog. A lot of artists do actually allow contact by email. It should be listed up on their website, and then said website should be linked on their social media profiles if they have one. Then you've got conventions. In the Dealer's Den and the Artist Alley, there are plenty of artists just rearing to take your commission money in both cash and card. Not just furry conventions either. Most anime and pop culture cons will have some kind of like Artist Alley stalls den thing full of artists you can commission. Other than that, your only other option is just meets in general. Going there, talking to people, finding out who's an artist and being like, hey, here's my money, please draw me, here's my rep sheet, take it all. Oh yeah, I also highly recommend printing out your reference sheet if you plan to commission people in person, because then you don't have to worry about trying to find a link and juggling phones, just be like, here you go. Dear Pocari, I once heard someone saying that they wear scuba diving suit underneath their fursuit. But would it be possible to make an entire bodysuit on a scuba diving suit on its own? Like, sew the fur onto it. Anyway, much love from Poland. I'm afraid you heard very wrong, my friend. We do not wear scuba suits under our fursuits. While it might look like a scuba suit, it's actually called Under Armour, which is like a lycra-ish type material that specially wicks sweat and heat away from your body, making your fursuiting experience a much more pleasant one. There's heaps of different brands and types and all that jazz, but it all does the same basic thing. I would definitely recommend not wearing a scuba suit under a fursuit, because scuba suits are made for colder conditions. The material isn't very breathable and thus is meant to insulate you, keeping your heat on you when you're, underwater or deep and dark and cold. Which is certainly not a problem when you're fursuiting. Like, sure, you might have an Atlantic's worth amount of sweat, but a scuba suit is not going to help you through that. As for sewing fur onto a scuba suit, I mean, it's plausible. I don't think the fur would quite flow very naturally because scuba suits do tend to be quite rigid, but I'm not sure. It's worth experimenting with. If there are any fursuit makers watching this and would like to weigh in on this, please let me know in the comments below. I would love some help on this one. Hi, I'm a huge fan of yours. I have been for a while. But I wanted to ask a question. Is it okay if I use a pic of you in your fursuit as my profile picture? I'm asking just to make sure. Well, thank you very much for asking. I appreciate that more than I could put into words, but I'm afraid my answer is going to be, please don't. Even if your name is displayed as your own, there are plenty of people who have no idea what the heck a Pocari Roo is, so they're going to assume the fursuit in your profile picture is yours. Thus, you've stolen my identity without even meaning to. Then there are people who automatically assume that you are maliciously stealing my identity for your own sick, evil purposes, and you must be stopped. And it's a big mess, even if I have given you permission. So for the sake of us both, please don't. Squeaky Butt asks, is it okay to have multiple personas, or change your personas often to suit your moods? How many OCs is too many OCs? Yes, and never too many. You can have hundreds of personas and change your main one every 5 minutes if you want. You have my official Pocari Roo seal of validation. Just be careful when changing your social medias and chat programs. You generally want to avoid changing your avatar and your name at the same time without giving a heads up. Otherwise, people don't know who you are anymore. You've changed everything, and it makes it really hard and really annoying to try and find you. But a thing you can do is have like a particular handle in brackets, so as you change your avatar and your name, that name in brackets is always there, so people can always find you and know it's actually you. I personally love changing my avatar throughout all my different characters as my mood sees fit, but I always keep my name the same, even when those characters do have their own. Advocate asks, how many hours a week do you spend putting quality content into your videos? And how much of that time is actual rest? On average, I work Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, but that could very easily extend into 10 and 12-hour days when I have videos that have a lot more production time, or I'm trying to learn something new. I try to give myself the weekend as dedicated, don't do work time, but more often than not, that does get shortened by I just need more time to edit, or I'm doing a stream, and all kinds of other things. I have this new mantra whenever I'm editing a video. If I think of something that improves the video, and I know how to do it, I have to do it. No excuses, no cutting corners for a longer weekend. Everything has to be the best I can possibly make it. That's exactly how that Sparkle Dog skit came along. That added an extra day to the production time of that one. But it was very worth it. So as you can see, this mantra has been serving me quite well so far. I really feel like the production value of my main videos has been quite on the rise lately, and actually some of you guys in the comments have noticed too, so hearing that, just, I'm over the moon, absolutely over the moon. So for you guys out there that are working, or studying, or just doing chores, give this mantra a go. Even if the idea of doing more work is really draining, and it could most likely cut into your personal time. Where's Shia? Shia!
Just do it!
That is it for the Q&A this time around, but if you would like a question answered in the next one, be sure to leave it in the comments with the hashtag Q&A, or you can email me, pocariru@outlook.com. A patron shout out to Joey Miller. Thank you so much, Joey, for supporting my channel so much and helping to bring this video to these guys. And of course, a big shout out to you for watching this video. I would not be here without that. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!